hostage situation is unfolding in Sundumbili near the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal. Armed robbers apparently held staff and the manager of the store hostage. Our senior reporter Dasen Thathiah is on that story and joins us yet again. Dasen, what's the latest? We saw the last 3 hostages being released and went with police for questioning. What else is taking place now? Have they effected those arrests?
Well, Mfundo, what I'm showing you now is the live visuals of that building complex. You'll recall that I was telling you that the specialized SAPS members were inside. Their priority at that point when we last spoke was to find those armed robbers, 6 of them that had been counted. They were inside that building, could possibly hiding between those boxes and other storage facilities that are there. So now that's what they've been doing. But those last 3 at this point, it still seems to be that there are only 3 that were remaining in that building, and those are the ones that were taken away. And we brought you those visuals a short while ago, seemingly in good spirits. I'll take you back now to Brigadier J. Naika, who's still here. Brigadier, since we last spoke, you did have an opportunity to engage with the police units here. What is the latest update regarding the search for those armed robbers?
Yeah, there's a few more shops that we still want to search, but from what they've gathered, there is other doors on the other side that could have been opened from the inside, that the robbers could have used if they wanted to escape. So we're also looking at a possibility that when the police arrived on this side of the building, they could have left on the other side. So that could be a real possibility at this stage. But we're still giving members of the task force an opportunity to search the rest of the building.
If they did in fact leave through those other doors, that would then pose a risk to this community. Are there also SAPS members that are securing the broader area beyond this cordon that we are in now?
Absolutely. The area has been saturated by police officers from SAPS. There's other security forces that are also being mobilized to this area. And so I think if the suspects did flee, it would have been much earlier today, in the early hours when this incident occurred.
Okay, and at my last count, there were a total of 10 hostages that we had counted, 10 that had come out after the last 3. Am I correct in saying that no others that we had counted before that?
Yeah, there were 7 that were put into the cold storage facility who managed to free themselves and escape. And there was another 3 that we found that were hiding in the building when police were sweeping the premises.
Thanks for that update, Brigadier J. Naika. Mfundo, I'll also tell you that I had an opportunity to speak to IPSS and their team that was here dealing with the first batch of employees that was taken out. They said that those 6 that were taken out initially were suffering with severe hypothermia. That was as a result of them being hiding away in the cold storage facility. And they'd spent possibly an hour or 2 hours in there. Also, in total, all of them, everyone that had come out here suffering a bit of trauma from what they had witnessed and what they had experienced during the course of the morning. So certainly some of them would be given further treatment at hospital. Others would be referred for counseling, because this is not an everyday experience. This is something that they would hardly ever see in this part of town. But the more concerning thing at this point is that there is that possibility now that those armed robbers are either inside or possibly outside in this area around the building complex that I was telling you about. Brigadier J. Naika saying, though, that the SAPS members are also stationed at other points within the vicinity here, beyond this cordon that we are in. So hopefully that search, if it doesn't prove to be successful in here, does get them those results as they try to track those, at this point, as we understand, 6 armed robbers.
All right, Dasen, it was certainly a very traumatic incident that would need counseling, because we cannot take lightly the fact that people could have possibly thought that they were going to lose their lives. So it's most certainly traumatic, even those that walked out there seemingly okay, but one would expect that, yes, counseling is needed.
Definitely. I mean, we can't just take it at face value. I'm just going to move out of shot so I can give you the visuals behind me. But that's seemingly the case here. That's what IPSS was saying to us, that those that they had spoken to had displayed signs of severe trauma. You would have heard the description from the SAPS earlier about the types of weapons that this gang was carrying, and that alone would have been enough to make them quite fearful and also give them the possibility of losing their lives in this process. They were locked in this building. They didn't know how many of these robbers were there, and they didn't know when they would be rescued or how they would escape. It's quick thinking then on the part of the initial 6 that had managed to free themselves or managed to get out safely from that cold storage facility. Unfortunately, they did have to be treated, but it seems right now that it could have ended a lot worse, and the early intervention then by security officials and the SAPS and the quick thinking of those employees may have saved a few lives here.
All right, Dasen, thank you very much for that update. That's our reporter, Dasen Thathiah, who's out in KZN, where that hostage situation is unfolding. But we do know now that the last 3 hostages were in fact released. The police are now just searching for those robbers.